What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation. What is up, guys? Welcome to the new series all about Power Rangers. In today's video, we will be ranking my, keyword being my, Lance Geek Drums, my personal top 10 favorites in the leadership role of Red Ranger. My top 10 Red Ranger picks. Now, you may not agree with me. You may have different ones. That's what the comment section is for. Let's have a discussion about it. But before we get started, let me just mention my top 3 honorable mentions. I like them, but they didn't crack the top 10 list for me. First off, we have Hunter Bradley, the Crimson Thunder Ranger from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. After that, we would have Mac Hartford from Operation Overdrive. And after that, we have Casey Rhodes from Power Rangers Jungle Fury. Casey and Mac, they both have something in common. They were not supposed to be Red Rangers. They kind of stumbled into that position. Well, Casey, he stumbled into that position. As far as Mac, he just seized the opportunity. Casey, it was more of a acting thing for me. He, like, the series itself was cool, but just starting off, I didn't really resonate with him at the time. I'll have to sit down and rewatch it. I liked some of the things that the character did, but others I didn't. He lacked the confidence at times, and being a leader, being a Red Ranger, I normally see them, being sometimes overzealous, as you'll see as I go down my list. You will see some as being overzealous, some as being overprotective, wanting to, shine in that role. Casey didn't do that for me. Mac was sometimes immature at times as the Red Ranger. After finding out that he wasn't a real boy, he took a real rebellious, immature phase, and that's not something that I found interesting. And with Hunter, well, he's the Crimson Ranger. He was used to being the leader to his brother, which is his Blue Ranger. In Power Rangers Ninja Storm, they were split into 3 fractions. Samurai Power with Cam. We'll cover him eventually. The Thunder Rangers, and then you have the 3 Wind Rangers. With Hunter and Blake, they came on later. They started as villains initially. So his villain arc, it was cool. But when he joined the team, you could tell him and Shane were butting heads because they're both Red Rangers at the end of the day. I don't care what color he is. If you look at some of the comic books that, have each Ranger color as a variant cover, he's on the Red Ranger cover. So, yeah, he's a Red Ranger, but he didn't ease his way up there. Maybe after some, a few more rewatches. I'm currently rewatching Ninja Storm. He's cool, but he doesn't push himself above the actual Red Ranger of the series for me, if you get what I'm saying. So, let's jump right into my list. At number 10, we have TJ Johnson, Turbo Red Ranger number 2, because he took... It would be a train right now. Number 10, we have TJ Johnson, the Red Turbo Ranger. The second one, he was Tommy's successor, RIP Jason David Frank. I love TJ. I loved TJ. He was a great leader. He had all of those qualities that you expected a Red Ranger to have. Shout out to Selwyn Ward, the first Black leader of the Power Rangers. That's a big one. You got to give us that. But then he got demoted to, well, not demoted, but when Turbo was over, he was just the Blue Ranger again. So, being any Ranger is cool, but, in my book, you lose points from going from red to blue. I understand why, but he went from being the leader to being second in command. Now, it takes a big person to be able to step back and, let somebody else take the lead. I get that completely. But, yeah, TJ... Obviously, Tommy saw the courage that he had. TJ helped people when he didn't have powers. When, Divatox was attacking, he stepped in, he saved people, he helped Tommy. So that's why he deserved the Turbo Ranger powers. Number 9, and that will be Leo Corbett. Now, you heard me say in the beginning of the video, some Red Rangers, they stepped into that, they stumbled into that role on accident. That's what Leo did. Stowing away on the Terra Venture, Correct me if I'm wrong about the name of the ship, but I believe it was the Terraventure. He snuck on there. Honestly, his brother was supposed to be the Red Ranger. Leo stepped into that Red Ranger role, grabbed the red Quasar saber, lifted it from the stone. Honestly, it makes me. I can honestly say it was meant for him the entire time. Who knows if it would have budged if his brother would have grabbed it. Number 8, Scott Truman, Ranger Operator Series Red from Power Rangers RPM. Scott was no nonsense. He was no nonsense. He was all about the job. He was the first recruited Ranger in the whole Operator series. RPM. It was a series in a post-apocalyptic future. I guess I don't know how that whole timeline is working. It changed so much. Like it tied into Beast Morphers somehow. But he cracks my list. Not all the way at the top. He had a little bit of arrogancy here and there. He was a great leader. As more people joined the team, as the Black Ranger joined, they butt heads a little bit because Scott was no nonsense. He wanted to get the job done. He was tired of living in the Dome City. He wanted to defeat Vengex at any cost. He also wanted to prove himself to his father, who was the general. Great example for being an excellent Red Ranger. You're not without your faults, but what great leader doesn't have faults? Also, another Black leader of the Power Rangers. They're always going to get points for me. Always going to get points for me. But what do you think about him? Let me know down in the comment section down below. 7, Connor McKnight, Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Now, the jock, the jerk, the guy that loves to flirt with all the girls. He's not an airhead, but you get what I mean. His grades aren't always the best. Turned out to be one of the best Red Rangers in the entire franchise, especially in that Disney era. In that Disney era of Power Rangers, I love Dino Thunder. And part of the reason why I do love the show, aside from Jason David Frank returning as a mentor in that season, is the Red Ranger that they chose. Connor showed so much growth from the beginning of the series to the end. He went from being an arrogant, stuck-up jock that only cared about himself to leading his team to victory, to saving his friends, Triassic power, unlocking those different modes. That took a lot of growth. And honestly, if he didn't change, I don't think he would have unlocked any of that stuff. I even remember an episode where he wanted to quit being a ranger because it was interfering with his soccer career. But he realized that, it's more important things than soccer. If I don't help save the world, if I don't accept this responsibility, this power that I was chosen, that, I didn't choose that power. It chose me. If I don't accept that, the world is doomed. I let down my team. Him and the Rangers became friends at the end of the day. They are best friends to the end of time. That's why Dino Thunder will always crack my top 10 list. But at number 6, we have Shane Clark, the Red Wind Ninja Storm Power Ranger. Shane, slack off in ninja school. But when he was called upon to lead his team they were always late, always they're slack offs as well. But when he was called to lead that team, he stepped up. He really did. Shane's arc, honestly, it was a predecessor to Connor's and those other Disney era Rangers. That's probably why I love like Connor and Shane so much. They're kind of one and the same to me. If you get what I'm trying to say, they're one and the same. They fight a lot with their teammates. He's different in the fact that he embraced that responsibility, but he had to learn how to be a team player in a different way than Connor did. As far as Connor didn't want anything to do with it at first, Shane wanted to take all the responsibility on himself. He thought leading meant doing everything yourself. At number 5, we're jumping to when Nickelodeon had Power Rangers. Devon Daniels, Beast Morphers Red. Didn't care anything about being a Ranger. It was not in his plans to be a ranger, another one that stumbled into the position but then rose in power. Devon Daniels was an amazing ranger. Part of the reason why I love the series is because of the Red Ranger. Now, yes, I'll say it again. Another black leader in the Power Rangers is always welcome. But it wasn't just that about Devon. It was Devon's heart. It was at his core he wanted to do good. You know, he was dealing with the fact that he couldn't keep his dad's attention. His dad was the mayor. You know, it was one of those, if I can say, cliche type storylines. Number 4, we have Zayto, the Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury now Red Ranger. Now Zayto came from another planet, planet Rafcon. Planet Rafcon, if you are not caught up, if you are not familiar with the Dino Fury series, you need to be, because Dino Fury is a breath of fresh air. I love Dino Fury. It's just like Beast Morphers to me. They brought new blood into the franchise, if you get what I mean. Zayto, excellent leader. It was a fish out of water storyline because, as I said, he is an alien. He had to learn how to fit in on Earth because he was staying to himself until his fellow rangers stumbled upon him. Now, he's a good ranger. He was always a knight. It's a fish out of water storyline. He has his faults. He sometimes likes to do things by himself because he feels as if it's his responsibility. Because, well, these Sporex are something that him and the other Knights of Rafcon were supposed to have defeated on their planet. But now they're on Earth, terrorizing Earth. So he had to learn how to work with a new team of Rangers. He had to learn how to lead these humans, but also learn how to be like them if he wants to fit in on Earth, if you get what I mean. At the end of the day, I don't want to spoil it if anybody hasn't watched the second half of the series. But at the end of the day, I will say he did something epic and came back in an amazing suit. I don't want to spoil it, but he came back in an amazing suit, and I'm so hyped for Cosmic Fury to start. It is going to be a 10-episode series on Netflix, and it will also coincide with the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers that will have the return of some familiar faces from Mighty Morphin. So be on the lookout for that. At number 3, we have SPD Red Ranger number 1, Jack Landers. Now, another person who just happened to stumble into something greater, as Doggy Kruger said in that series. Jack, he only wanted to help people. Him and his friend Z were like Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. They were never inherent bad guys. But Jack came in, wanted to help. He became the Red Ranger. Now, with that, he abused the power at first. But like any good Red Ranger, you have to learn how to become a leader. You have to want to become a leader. He didn't understand what wearing red meant. He assumed it meant, oh, I'm the leader. I'm Red Ranger. I get to tell you what to do. I outrank all of you, especially because in SPD, they're basically a police force. They were the B Squad. They are a police force of Rangers. So, of course, he abused that. Like, what else would a kid off the street do? Of course, he's going to abuse that. But what I loved about Jack is he learned. He evolved as a person. Number 2, Wesley Collins, Time Force Red. Time Force, if you haven't watched Time Force, you really should. Now, I will say, the one season where the Red Ranger wasn't the leader, but the Pink Ranger was. Now, I know you can say Mighty Morphin always had Tommy as White as the leader. This is something completely different. Wes came into the team initially to just unlock their chronomorphers in present day. He didn't want to give up. He wanted to be a part of something more. Now, with that, he wanted it for the wrong reasons at first. He thought it was playtime. But I have to say, and I know you're going to say, oh, you said this before. Wesley Collins is cold. His character arcs, his fighting styles, like, come on. Like, he came in and just knew. He knew what to do. He knew how to help. He wanted to help people. He went from being he didn't want to be a spoiled rich kid. His dad was, the big man on campus in their town, if I could say it like that. He wanted to help people the right way. He wanted to use the money the right way. So when his friends came in from the future, he befriended them. Him and Jen, fell in love for a guy that was not the inherent leader of his team, and was a team player. Didn't give up on wanting to have, not wanting to have the power, but wanting to be a part of something greater. He didn't give up. He fought to the very end. He learned, he sat back, he learned. He also taught his friends from the future about things in the past and had fun doing it. Like, that season is so fun to watch them be fish out of water and him having to teach them everything. That was cool to see. So, number 2, Wesley Collins. But we have cracked the top of the list, and everybody should know this. Everybody should know who's at the top of this Red Ranger list. No, it's not Jason. No, it's not Rocky. Honestly, I didn't really like either of the Mighty Morphin Reds. At the top of this list is the greatest Ranger of all time. Tommy Oliver, Turbo Red, Zeo Red. Oh, he's so many other colors as well. But Tommy Oliver is the pinnacle of Power Rangers. He is what every leader strives to be as a Red Ranger. That's all I have to say. One of the greatest Rangers of all time. He put his heart into being a Ranger. He was the leader of the Rangers before he put on red as Zeo Ranger number 5. He just knows what to do. Like, this could go on a whole nother tangent, but my recording has already hit 20 minutes because like 3 trains have went past and I had to pause. But yeah, number 1, Tommy Oliver, hands down. He should crack anybody's top 10 list at number 1 for Red Ranger, for White Ranger, for Sixth Ranger, for Green Ranger, and for Black Ranger. He just knew what to do. He knew how to be an effective leader for his friends. He knew how to be there when they needed him the most. And even in some instances when he was mind controlled, like when the machines did, mind control him and Zeo, he broke free. His will to do good outweighed mind control. What do you guys think? Who's on your top 10 list? Hit that comment section down below. Let me know. Let's have a discussion. And let me know what other videos you want to see in this series on Power Rangers. Just hit me up, guys. If you want to support the channel, you can do so. Do what it's saying on the bottom of the screen. Just hit my Cash App, or you can hit my tip jar. It is linked on the YouTube channel, somewhere up there. If you go to my actual channel, you'll see a link for tip jar. Any donation is appreciated. Just help me grow my channel. If you aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on the alert bell so you will never miss another nerdy video or list. May the power protect you. All right, guys. What are you waiting for? Come join the Geek Drums Nation.